Today, JCPS is set to launch a new bus system for bus drivers to report misbehavior. This follows the driver sick-outs from earlier this month, which canceled more than 100 routes in one day. That new system will streamline communication between bus drivers and JCPS officials. To curb any miscommunication, JCPS has assigned a climate and culture staff member to each bus compound, who will then be responsible for receiving those referrals from bus drivers and ensuring school staff reviews them in a timely manner and with weekly updates. There's also a time for answering any kind of questions bus drivers may have about violations in school discipline. Last week, more than 140 drivers did not come to work in protest of student behavior and what they have been calling a lack of district support. It left thousands of students with no choice but to stay home. And this is what the district spokesperson, Carolyn Callahan, had to say.
We transport more than 65,000 students a day. Bus drivers are vital to what we do, and this is the first time we have ever had to cancel bus routes.
And the district officials did say the change in this is a direct response to what they've heard from bus drivers and has been in the works now for several weeks. Our Ian Hardwitt will have an update on the bus referral process today beginning at 4. Jury deliberations continuing this afternoon in the federal civil rights trial against former Metro Police Officer Brett Hankison. He and his attorneys left the federal courthouse yesterday afternoon with a full day of no verdict. The jury is working to determine whether or not he violated the civil rights of Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend, and her neighbors when he fired into her apartment in March of 2020. We'll be following along with the jury if they return today. If a verdict is reached, we'll update you on air and online at WHAS11.com. The suspect shot by a Louisville police officer remains in jail on $100,000 bond. Police said they were responding to a domestic violence call Monday when they found 38-year-old Jaron Bobbitt in a car armed with an AR-style pistol. This happened on Beecher Street near Wyandotte Park. LMPD said Bobbitt ran from police, refused to drop his gun when they caught up to him. We're told an officer shot him when he pointed a gun toward them. Bobbitt is facing several charges, including wanton endangerment of a police officer. He's due back in court on November 27th. Kentucky's Attorney General-elect Russell Coleman has announced his top priorities as the Commonwealth's lead prosecutor. Yesterday in Frankfort, he introduced his transition team, including former United States attorneys and former State Senator Will Schroeder. Coleman said together they'll tackle public corruption.
That is one of the core responsibilities of the Attorney General's office, is to dive in public corruption matters. And for too long, the state has had to rely upon the feds to oftentimes step in public corruption cases. Look forward to leveraging, and I'm not speaking to this specific case, but generally to public corruption cases. That will be one of the 4 priorities of our criminal role.
Coleman also plans to focus on the violence in Louisville and reducing child exploitation and abuse. The Blue Oval SK Battery Park in Glendale is looking to hire 450 people by the end of the year. Our Alex Dieter has more on the recruitment event for this large economic development project in Kentucky's history.
A crowd of future employees, hundreds of them, showing up to apply at the first Blue Oval SK recruitment event in Elizabethtown. The huge battery project in Glendale is a nearly $6 billion investment from companies Ford and SK On, creating 5,000 jobs.
We are looking to employ all Kentuckians. We're looking local. We want the local presence. We want people to know in this community that we value what they bring to Blue Oval SK. So it's very important to us to be local,
including E-Town natives like Felissa Graves.
But I thought, well, I'm going to retire soon. I'll just come in and see what they have to offer.
She joined both her husband and daughter at the job fair to see what the multi-billion-dollar development could add to her town.
I think it's amazing that E-Town is getting bigger and stronger. The diversity is just amazing.
Blue Oval SK Director of Human Resources, Neva Burke, says choosing Central Kentucky for the Battery Park project came from the available workforce in Hardin County.
The workforce here is rich and it's deep and dedicated, and there was so many opportunities for, graduates from colleges and high schools.
The company is planning to open operations at the Glendale plant by 2025, while production at the second plant is now on hold. Alex Dieter, WHAS 11 on your side.
And if you missed that job fair, the recruiting center in E-Town is open. You can also fill out an application online. Visit WHAS11.com for that link to apply and see which positions are available. After 3 years on the job, Tark's executive director is stepping down. Yesterday, Mayor Craig Greenberg and the Tark board announced Carrie Butler will resign at the end of the year. Butler took the job in August of 2020 after running Lextran, the Lexington bus system. She joined Tark following an investigation into the previous Tark administration and in the middle of the pandemic. Mayor Greenberg's office will conduct a nationwide search to find her replacement. Butler's last day will be New Year's Eve, but she will serve as a consultant during the transition through next June.